네, 안녕하세요. 청소년재단 회장 김수현입니다. 이렇게 특별히 올해 20주년을 맞이해가지고 좋은 뜻깊은 행사를 할 수 있도록 많이 도와주신 분 여러분께 감사드리고요. 특히 올해는 우리 저지 정범진 판사님께서 키노 스피커로서 좋은 말씀을 많이 해주실 것 같습니다. 그리고 우리가 20주년을 맞이해서 여러 가지 행사와 또 좋은 프로그램이 있으니까 이 계기를 통해서 많은 지속적인 협조와 또 한인사회에 관심을 많이 가져주시고 저희 청소년재단이 더욱 발전할 수 있도록 많은 도움 주셨으면 감사하겠습니다. 감사합니다.
So what happens is, this is a local thing. I hit the corporate side. That's why.
Hi, I'm Alexander Jung. I'm an acting Supreme Court Justice in Brooklyn, and I'm here as the keynote speaker in this great event for the Korean American Youth Foundation. I think it's a great honor and a privilege to come here to address the youngsters who are the future of our culture and our society. And I'm very grateful for this opportunity, and I thank everyone for inviting me. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Sandra, and I'm from Taiwan. I'm currently a student, and congratulations to the Korean American Youth Foundation. Today is their 2020's annual benefit gala, and I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Welcome to the 20th anniversary gala. It gives me great pleasure to welcome all of you to tonight's event. I want to thank all of you for coming tonight. You know, it's amazing that it's been 20 years since we was founded by Mr. Lee, who's here in present tonight. But you know, what's more amazing is that I spent almost half of those years alongside with it. Past 9 years have been a great experience for me, and I got to meet a lot of wonderful people. And I'm really proud of this organization and all the work that we have accomplished over the years. But of course, we couldn't do it all alone. You know, we had a lot of contributions and support from many of you who are here tonight. And I'd like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your generous donations and support over the years. In closing, I'd like to wish you all a great summer and enjoy the rest of the evening. And now I'd like to introduce you to the MCs of tonight's event, Ms. Zina Kim and Se-Hwan Jang. Please give a big hand. Thank you.
Thank you, Little Treasures, for your amazing performance. You have our full support. And thank you, Mr. Kim, for your opening remarks. Mr. Kwang-Soo Kim is currently the Principal Attorney at Law Offices of Kwang-Soo Kim, Executive Vice President and Gala Chair at Korean American Youth Foundation.
예, 지금 현재 부회장 그리고 갈라 체어로 계신 김광수 변호사님의 오프닝과 리틀 트레저의 멋진 퍼포먼스 감사드립니다. I think it might be a good time to introduce ourselves. My name is Zina Kim, and this handsome gentleman who's standing right next to me, which may be a little bit, I may be a little bit biased, but he's my co-host and my husband, Se-Hwan Jang. We will be here in the States tonight.
네, 그리고 제 아내 김지현 씨는 현재 A&E 텔레비전 네트워크에서 변호사로 일하고 있고, 저는 미국 LG전자 본사에서 기획 일을 하고 있습니다.
So before we get started tonight, I want to recognize we have a very avid supporter from our community. Our New York State Comptroller, John Liu, would like to come up and share his congratulatory remarks for the Korean American Youth Foundation. Please welcome him.
I come to this gala every year. The Korean American Youth Foundation continues to inspire our young people to get involved in public service and giving back to the community. And it really is such wonderful payback in terms of what our community collectively can do. We have been here for many decades now. And the community here in Flushing, in Queens, and in the New York area continues to do that much better. And it is because of the life's work, the blood, sweat, and tears that we have all put in to ourselves, our families, and in turn the city of New York, and I dare say America itself. And so for the Korean American Youth Foundation to continue to do this great work over the years is truly inspiring. And it's been 20 years now, and it's a big 20-year milestone. I certainly was not going to miss this one this year. So I just want to say congratulations to all the people who have been involved thus far. We have a lot of past presidents here, Yonghwa Ha and John Kim and Jeffrey Kim and many others. But I wanted to take an opportunity to present a token of appreciation to our chairman, and I wanted to invite President Thomas Kim and our gala chair, Kwang-soo Kim, to help me in this presentation. Thomas and Kwang-soo, if you're still around, come on up. And I'll call up our chairman, Mr. Mike Isuk Kim. Isuk Kim, chairperson, for your distinguished leadership, dedicated service, commitment to excellence, and tremendous contributions to the city of New York, signed this 20th day of June 2013. Thank you so much. Keep up the great work. Thank you.
A special night planned ahead of us. Not to mention we've got some great speakers and some special performances ahead, so we want you to stay tuned.
For those of you who don't know much about the Korean American Youth Foundation, it's a non-profit, non-partisan, community-based organization which was founded by our first-generation Korean Americans 20 years ago.
KAYF stands strong in its commitment and providing necessary support and resources to our youth to succeed and prosper as the mainstream of Korean Americans while maintaining their Korean roots and cultures. KAYF, as you already know, is very committed to inspiring our next generation of Korean Americans to become successful, professional individuals, as well as our future leaders in our local community. So like the saying goes, let our ceiling be your floors.
네, 우리의 청소년들에게 한국의 뿌리와 문화를 잊지 않고 미국사회에서 성공할 수 있도록 도와주는 것이 미주 한인 청소년 재단의 주된 임무라고 할 수 있습니다.
Tonight's event is one way for KAYF to raise money to fund various programs and also to really celebrate all their achievements along with the friends, family, and supporters. As you already may know, so much has been happened in the past 20 years with KAYF, and we would like to kind of get started on our event. So stay tuned, and why don't we get started?
안녕하세요. 버스턴 유니버시티에서 지금 1학년을 다니고 있는 이재무라고 합니다. 저는 지금 생물을 공부하고 있고 이제 프리메드를 따라가면서 나중에 의사 될 그런 꿈을 가지고 있는 열망 있는 학생입니다. 먼저 이제 와플에서 제가 겪은 그런 시간들을 이렇게 생각해 보면 정말 저를 사람으로서 아니면 그냥 인생이 살아가고 있는 어떤 꿈을 이루고자 하는 학생으로서의 정말 큰 발전을 도와주는 그런 시간들이라고 생각했는데요. 모든 학생들이 꼭 해야 되는 리더십이 뭔지를 이 프로그램으로서 이렇게 알아갔으면 합니다. 자기만의 리더십이라는 그 주관을 가지고 자기 인생을 리드하는 그런 리더가 됐으면 좋겠고요. 여기서 받는 사람 관계, 그리고 그 사람, 여기 있는 다른 사람들과 가지고 있는 그 관계랑 그 관계로서 배우고 있는 그 모든 지식들, 그런 거를 통하여서 나중에 대학교나 아니면 사회에 나가서 다른 관계, 새로운 관계를 맺었을 때 좀 더 발전돼 있는 그런 생각이 들었습니다.
Hi, my name is Sarah Jeanette, and I graduated from Waffle last year of 2012. And from my experiences in Waffle, I know that I gained much experience, just not for intellectually, but also just for fun. I had a lot of experiences from the forums, from the guest speakers that we had. From every meeting we had, there were always a lesson that I could take from those guest speakers or even just the students themselves. And from the students, I was able to make a lot of connections with the people that I met. And I know that even now, after I graduated, I still keep in contact with a few people. We just talk about college. Even the people younger than I am, we keep in touch. We talk about how am I doing, what kind of things can I give to them from college, since now I'm in college. And then people older than me, I ask them for advice. It's like, what classes should I take? How should I set up my classes?
Like I felt like I wasn't going to fit in or like do well within the program, but it actually ended up being very helpful with my speech and the competitions and like speaking in front of everyone, like in front of the whole program together. And it gave me a lot of confidence.
I joined the Waffle program when I was a sophomore. Yes, in 3 years as well, we joined it together. And I kind of joined it because my mom said to join it, and at first I was kind of resentful. I don't want to go. This is going to be so dumb. But then I realized, like from the first meeting, that everyone was really welcoming, and I gained so many social skills, and I've changed so much as a person. Like my studies went down, like my interaction skills went down. I have more friends now. Believe it or not, you'll gain a lot of social skills, speaking skills, and all that nice stuff. So yeah.
리더십을 가지고 한인으로서 또 미국에서 주류 사회에서 큰 일을 할 수 있기를 바라면서 20주년을 진심으로 축하드립니다.
앞으로 더욱더 우리 미주한 청소년재단이 많은 학생들에게, 특히 우리 한 2세들에게 좋은 영향과 그 꿈과 비전을 심어줄 수 있는 그런 재단이 되었으면 감사하겠습니다.
I'd like to applaud everyone that's involved in making tonight's event successful and to make sure that the vision for tomorrow will be fulfilled.
미주 한인 청소년재단이 이제 명실 상부한 한인 사회의 소중한 자산으로 자리하기 위하여 꾸준히 성장, 발전하고 있음을 볼 때 정말 자랑스럽고 감사하기 그지없습니다. 그동안 성원을 보내주신 동포 여러분께 깊은 감사의 인사를 드립니다.
지난 20년 동안 희생과 노력으로 현 재단이 이렇게 발전할 수 있도록 해주신 거 너무 감사드립니다. 이 재단이 더 발전하고 안정적으로 또 우리 와플 프로그램이 더 성장하고 더 많은 스칼러십을 줄 수 있고 그와 동시에 좋은 프로그램이 개발돼서 지속적으로 많은 학생들한테 도움을 줄 수 있는 그런 재단이 되도록 노력하겠습니다. 우리 부족한 것을 다시 깨닫고 또 우리 현재의 꿈으로 우리 다가오는 미래의 우리 현실이 좀 더 축복되고 또 발전될 수 있는 그러한 사회가 될 수 있습니다.
That you saw on the very last side of this video. Today's vision and tomorrow's reality. As we reflect on today, we envision tomorrow, and with success that will follow.
네, 오늘의 비전을 내일의 현실로란 슬로건을 가지고 우리의 와플 청소년들이 만든 멋진 비디오를 감상하셨습니다.
KAYF has a dynamic program developed this year through the presidency of Thomas Kim. Just to name a few, there's a huge list, but there's the mentorship program, the study room, the students where they're serving as tutors, public speaking, competitions, research opportunities, so many more you can find in the program book. But we can't forget about our orchestra program.
네, 김 회장님의 재임 기간 동안 청소년재단의 프로그램이 더욱더 다양해졌는데요. 여러 가지 형태의 세미나뿐만 아니라 교환학생 프로그램, 미술대회 등 질적인 면에서도 많은 성장과 발전이 있었습니다.
So next, we would like to debut our new program started by the current president, Thomas Kim. It's the KAYF Ever First Youth Orchestra. This group is comprised of 9th to 12th grade musicians, directed by Dr. Hana Kim, a very, very talented conductor who has won many awards in various competitions and received his doctorate at SUNY Stony Brook. So why don't we give them a round of applause?
큰 박수 부탁드리겠습니다.
To our students. 감사합니다. Eric. Thank you. First of all, on behalf of Korean American Youth Foundation and the Gala Committee, I welcome all of you who are present tonight and to celebrate our 20th annual gala. I think tonight's theme is today's vision and tomorrow's reality. Simply put, It's based on the belief that our future depends on the things that we do right now. At this very moment, I think many people envision that future is something far down the road where dreams come true and our happiness is assured. The truth is, however, the future starts today and not tomorrow. I know the path to the future will not be easy, and I'm sure that there will be some failures and there will be some disappointments. But the key is to build on these mistakes and to use them as a stepping stone to proceed forward. I think with hard work and determination, we can have our brighter future. When this organization was first established about 20 years ago, I can tell you that the things are very, very different. The life as an inner city immigrant and wasn't easy, especially in Flushing. We witnessed a lot of gang violence, racism, and people scrounging to make a living, and general feeling of a displacement. And the environment was not easy at all. But I watched my friends and families weather the storm and build the Korean Americans' reputation as a hardworking individual and hard-hitting community. Today, I think we are living in the future they worked so tirelessly to establish. I want to congratulate our remarkable graduate class of 2013, the students of this year's WAFA program. They have truly gone above, beyond in giving back to the community. They have been active members of afternoon study programs, and teaching and aiding in underprivileged local students. And they also have organized speech competition and successfully completed with the sponsor by the CHOP. And some of our talented musicians, like you just saw, have formed an orchestra. These young men and women, obviously, who have donated so much time of their midst of the stressful college application period, that remind us that community service is a two-way street. Also tonight, it is fitting that our keynote speaker, Honorable Alexander Jung, who is the second Korean American to become a judge in New York State and City Court System. He is truly a beacon of the excellence. Behind his numerous accomplishments lies a story even more inspirational. As we know that after his tragic accident, he refused to give up, but rather he continued to push forward and successfully graduated from law school and became a fine judge in New York City, the Criminal Court of Kings County. He is a living proof that future is whatever we could deem to be possible. I'd like to take this opportunity to give thanks to our sponsors for their generous donations and our steering committees for their commitment, continued dedication to KOAYF, and our board members for their commitment to our cause. This event would not have been possible without their support. Thank you all once again, and have a wonderful night, and please support us again for our future organization. Thank you.
Your welcome remarks, President Kim. So before we move on, tonight's event could have not been here today without our special guests or our VIPs. So I'd like to just take a moment to recognize who all came here to provide their support. We have Assemblyman Ron Kim and his special assistant Yong-Han Kim is here on behalf of him. We have New York State Assemblywoman Nili Razek, Queens County Regional Representative Linda Sun. We have Edward Bronstein and his special assistant Chang No. You've already noticed New York State Comptroller John Liu. And then we also have Kim Hye-jin from the New York Korean American Assembly. Also, we have the greatest number of judges in attendance tonight. It's my pleasure to introduce Honorable Kevin McGrath, who is the New York City Criminal Court Judge of Kings County. We also have some other judges who are present here today. Thank you very much. Honorable Robert Kalish, Honorable Gilbert Han, Honorable Danny Chung. Thank you for coming out tonight. So, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to have Judge Kevin McGrath come up and introduce our very special keynote speaker tonight. So please welcome him.
Especially to introduce my friend, Judge Jung. When I was asked to speak tonight, I immediately felt very old. I realized that I knew Judge Jung for 20 years. Some of you weren't even born when I met Judge Jung, and I had no gray hair. When I first met Judge Jung, he actually lived in Flushing. So today is kind of a homecoming for Judge Jung, because he's coming back to his roots. Judge Jung started his legal career with me in the Kings County District Attorney's Office. Judge Jung handles some of the most violent and complicated cases in the office. He quickly distinguished himself as an excellent trial attorney, rising to the level of senior trial attorney in the homicide bureau. After that, he was selected to be chief of criminal court. That's a pretty big feat. Criminal court in Brooklyn handles close to 100,000 cases a year, and he supervised over 100 assistant district attorneys. And under his leadership, his trial experience, his patience and guidance, Kings County Criminal Court actually had the most trials in any county in the city. Judge Jung will probably tell you his most difficult job in the Kings County District Attorney's Office is supervising me. I tell you right now, that's not true. When Judge Jung applied to be a judge, his application went through faster than any other judge. It was no surprise to anyone who knows him. As a judge, he has earned a reputation of being one of the hardest working, fairest judges. Judge Jung really never seeks praise, glory, or reward. In his speech tonight, I think he only used the word "I" once. Judge Jung simply does his job in an exemplary fashion. In doing so, he challenges his colleagues to do their job as diligently and effectively as he does. It is with great honor I introduce my friend, Acting Supreme Court Judge Alexander Jung.
Wow. This is exactly the reason why I hired my intern, just for this purpose. And as I see myself on these two big screens, now you know why I don't allow cameras in my courtroom. Thank you, Korean American Youth Foundation, President Kim, other officers, board members, parents, and especially the students. It is with great privilege and honor that I get to be here as the keynote speaker and to address the students here who have done some wonderful, wonderful work with the organization, and with their bright futures, I hope to have great success and great happiness in their lives. perhaps I'm getting a little cynical with my old age, and as I say that, I can see my friends at the tables looking at me going, perhaps? We're born cynical, what are you talking about? Anyway, I recently heard a term that I hadn't heard in a long time, and I had a completely different reaction to this term. And that term is model minority. And I don't know if you've heard that term, but when I was young and optimistic, and again, I pause again to look at my friends at my table and say, yes, there was a time when I was young and optimistic. When I was young and optimistic, when I heard that term, I thought it was a complimentary term. That, whoever this model minority is, somebody who excels and does well in society. But the more I thought about it, it's really not a complimentary term. Especially considering the fact that the term was probably coined by a non-minority member. And when I heard this term again, I thought to myself, we're the model, well, first of all, you know who the model minority is. It was a term coined by a non-minority person to describe the Asian American community here in the U.S. And I believe that this term is not so complimentary because I think it means that we are safe, that we don't cause any trouble, that no matter what, they can stack the deck against us, they can create obstacles for us, and yet we will keep quiet, we won't rebel, we won't say anything, we won't speak out, and we will just keep our heads down and keep doing what we're told. And that's the reaction that I had when I heard this model minority term again. And I challenged the students to ask them, is that the term, is that the group identity that you want to be identified with? Is that the individual identity that you want for yourselves? That somebody, no matter what, whether you are challenged or not, whether the authority comes down on you, that deck is stacked against you, they create obstacles for you, and you just keep your head down, and just move along, and you just do what you're told. Or are you going to be this person who speaks out against injustice, who speaks out against the weak, who speaks out against the underprivileged? Are you going to stand up and speak up for not only for yourself, but for those people who need your voice, who need leadership, who need somebody who can guide you through the trouble and the tough times, and to guide them through these rough patches that person may go through? If you really pay attention to what's going on in the world and really engage yourself, there's so many things that are going wrong in our world. For example, climate change. We have just recently hit the watermark of 400 particles of carbon per million. Now, all of our scientists tell us that that is a mark that once you go beyond, there's no point of no return. But what are we doing? We are doing absolutely nothing to address this. Nothing at all. Gun control. Think about what happened at Sandy Hook. Grammar students slaughtered, literally slaughtered by a semi-automatic, assault type rifle. And yet, what has Washington done? What has any of us done? We have not passed one single legislation since that horrifying event occurred. Poverty. We live in the most affluent, the richest country in this world, and yet we have youngsters who are going hungry, who are literally going hungry and becoming malnourished. Now, how does all these things happen? I could go on and on and on with these injustices, with these wrongdoings that are going on in this world. But as high school students, you may think that all these events are somewhat remote and somewhat distant to you. So I really tried to think that one thing that's going on in the world right now would really outrage some of the high school students who are in this program. I thought, and I thought, and I thought, and I came up with something that all of you, or all of the students, are probably trying to strive for now, which is being admission to a very good college. And let me give you some of the things that may outrage you right now. A sociologist from Princeton University recently concluded, after a very big study, that with all other quantifiable variables being equal, that means your grades, that means your extracurricular activities, that means your community service, all those things being equal, Asian applicants still needed an SAT score of about 140 points higher than that of the white applicants. Now, Asian Americans make up 5.8% of our national population. The African American, about 14%, Hispanic American, about 16.7%, and non-Hispanic whites, 63%. So, when these admissions people in these Ivy League and other elite colleges require that a group of people, a group of applicants that only make up 5.8% of the population need scores that much higher than a group of people who make up 63% of the population. That's not just reverse discrimination, because reverse discrimination is giving the benefit of a minority at the detriment of somebody in the majority. But Asians are not in the majority. We're still a minority. So this is pure and simple discrimination in my book. It's taking affirmative action on its head. It's similar to what Jewish applicants went through in the 1920s. When they started to compete for these elite college spots, and they competed against the WASPs, some of the excuses that these Ivy League people made were that the Jews lacked character, they lacked vigor, they lacked manliness, and they lacked leadership. And those were the big qualities that they used to reject Jewish applicants. And these are the things that are going right now against the Asian American applicants. Are you guys outraged yet? Yes. According to a former admissions officer from several Ivy League schools, there is a hush-hush rule that no matter what, the Asian student body in their school should not exceed 20%. Now, this is an accepted rule that is not, of course, written out anywhere, but it's something that all the admissions experts of these Ivy League schools know about. So what does that mean? It means if this policy continues, the Asian applicants could keep exceeding the performance gap between the Asians and the non-Hispanic whites, and yet you will still have the same